Today is February 2nd, and it is 8:20 p.m.
And the groundhog did not see his shadow today.
Now, what does that mean?
Early spring.
We have spring?
Well, that's what it's Punxsutawney Phil says.
Yeah.
And
How often is that thing right?
Sam, or whatever his name is.
The news said he's only right 40% of the time, so take that for what it's worth.
From Fresno. Good.
So anyway, we've got a couple things to go over today. So our fundraising, let's talk about fundraising. So you want to start fundraising?
Whoop, whoop. Fundraising. Hey, we're at 36,000 on the thermometer.
46.
46.
46.
Okay, I was going to say 46. So yes. So thank you to everybody that's out there. We are at 46,000. So thank you. Thank you. Oh, see, look, there we go.
Yay. Did it again.
Again. So we're at 46,000. You guys are wonderful. So keep it coming because, you know, the brief is in. The city's going to be putting their brief in shortly, right? Next couple of weeks. So, and then hope we'll get a date at some point. We don't know when, maybe March, April-ish or so. And so we need to, you know, start getting ready for that. And then we got copay and then the other case. So, but thank you for everybody who donated to get that little thermometer to go up. So
and I'll be posting the new thermometer, so don't worry about that. I'll do that probably tomorrow. Get that going, and that'll go up. So keep that going. That's really good for a one week. You know, keep that going. That's really good for a one. What
are you doing? All right, see, now I get to say we got a hi from Sheepshead Bay and a hi and a hello from Delray. So there you go. See, tell me to keep my volume down. The case that's in the highest appeals court is the original case that we first won on, and that is the 12-126 case. Oh, Kathy and Barry also in Sheepshead Bay.
That was my third device. I had three. That third device just popped on. But this is muted.
What's going on?
I have 4 screens now. This is like 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm multitasking. Okay, so moving right along. Social media. So very important it's going to be. So I know you guys are on Facebook because you're here. But you guys have homework this weekend. If you're not on Twitter, join Twitter. And if you're not on Instagram, join Instagram.
And more platforms for you to join.
Well, this organization, so you know, like we are on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Threads,
Yeah,
TikTok.
Yes, I just
TikTok. And I did join Blue Sky, but nobody's really on there. So that's super important. And so you're going to start to see, we're going to start putting up some messaging soon that that we want you to be the powerhouse. You will be the vehicle driving this forward. You remember, like, what was that old commercial ad, like with what's his name? And he was like, you know, we need you. You usually see them like with the military ads, right? Like
Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam. Thank you. We need you to take a larger role in sharing the organization's message with your elected officials, whether you're city, state, or federal. But concentrating too, especially for those people in New York, this is going to be super, super important. Okay, so next week, you guys were wonderful, by the way, in sending out the letter, the email and call campaign that we did at the request with Be a Hero and Social Security Works to tell the senators, U.S. senators, not to sign the industry letter known as the AHIP letter, AHIP. You guys were wonderful. You really got out there. When we put out that call for you to do that, in the 2 days, is hit specific New York people with like 3,000 emails a day and 1,000 phone calls a day. So I'm going to tell you how excited and proud I am of all of you for have done that. And at the same time, I'm going to tell you there's 28,000 people in this page, and they should have had 28,000 emails and 28,000 phone calls. So I'm going to tell you when we get the next letter, again, we always say stay classy, but we're going to do the same thing. We have a Medicare letter that's coming out from the people that have welcomed us in the Capitol Hill when Michelle and I took all you guys down to Washington. And we have a letter coming out next week that we did in conjunction with Be a Hero, Adi Barkin, and that letter needs to go out next week. So they are making a video and putting together an email from us with them to put this out together. It's in conjunction with working together. So you're going to see that probably on Tuesday, and then I'll let you know then what that time window is, or Michelle will let you know how long we have to do that, because we have to do it as often as we can until we can get as many signatures on that letter as possible, because we want to blow out the 60 people that signed the AHIP letter last week. So that is your goal for this week. Do we have questions? So disappointed for Schumer not being on. I know, but now you have a chance to politely ask him to sign the Medicare letter that we are going to be sending him. And this letter that we are sending with Be a Hero came from Pramila Jayapal and Senator Warren. So keep you posted on that. And you know, Carol, too, a lot of you have sent the letters that you were getting from your US senators to me and Michelle. This would be the perfect opportunity to reply back to them, to tell them, hey, listen, you should understand, while you signed that letter and the plan does work for some people, let them know why it would be bad for you. They should know the downside to that and make it personal. So ask to speak to someone in their office and let them know that you're disappointed that they signed that letter, and let them know why. Got a lousy response from my Maine senator, Angus King. Susan Collins is still missing in action. I think she's on that letter too, if I remember right.
I think so.
Yeah, right? What, I don't know what Bernie Sanders' office said. Did I miss that? Was it true what Bernie Sanders, Lenny Rubenstein, I don't know what he said. You're welcome, Angela. I've not seen anything, but I'm gonna ask you. So Angela, I'm going to speak generically because this does affect several people that I've been helping. So your situation is not unique, but it is troubling. So when there was, and we mentioned this last week, when you have someone like for example, we mentioned we have, let's say you have two partners. One partner is in the city plan, one partner is in the MTA plan, and yet you were both on each other's insurance. When that happened, when MTA put all of their people in the Medicare Advantage plan by Aetna, it disenrolled everyone in whatever other plan that they were in. Whether you were in the city plan, it disenrolled you. If you were in another health plan, it disenrolled you. They didn't care. They did it to everybody. So unfortunately, that's what happened. And the only way to fix that is you have to disenroll from the MTA's Medicare Advantage plan if you intend to stay on the city Medicare and senior care plan. You would have to disenroll from the MTA, give that letter to Labor Relations, and make sure that you request to re-enroll into senior care. Then periodically, so Angela, start doing this next week, please. Monday at least, start. Log into Emblem. Use your card. The number should still work, hopefully. Log into Emblem Health. If you don't have a portal login, create one. Hopefully you can still log in with your old card. Look and see if it still says your plan is active, okay? If not, you can make one of two calls, because you know I already sent Angela, I already sent her letter in. you want to make sure that you get in touch with Emblem or you get in touch with Labor Relations. Keep me posted, because if you don't, I will connect back to the person that I called to help you. Okay. But that would be a good way to check. I did this week. I was still active. Okay, good. Keep checking though. Don't just rest on that. I want to make sure that it doesn't actually catch up and then it has to be done again. And don't be surprised if you actually get a new card in the mail, but just make sure the numbers are the same. If they're not, and the new card has a new number, throw away the old one.
So I was just gonna read you what Lenny had said. He said he got
Go
off
ahead.
with Bernie's office and was told Senator Sanders and a few senators are preparing to ask Biden to issue an executive order ending auto enrollment. Now, he doesn't know if they were honest or not, but maybe since the org has contacts, they may want to ask around if this is true or not.
Okay, so Lenny, do me a favor. Shoot Michelle or private message me on Messenger, who you spoke to it with, name and number, because we did speak to someone in that office, but I was not told that, and I would love to follow up with that person.
Right.
Cool. And they're not the only one that actually asked about that. We had another senator from Connecticut that asked me about that same day. Yeah. Power of the people. I guess I can repeat myself since it's Groundhog Day. Go Groundhog. Did the win in Delaware help us? Congratulations, Delaware. Okay, Delaware. Let's talk about Delaware briefly. So Delaware had started out using our attorneys, Jake and Steve. And one of the things that they tried to get them to do, since this was a legislative thing, now understand something, these insurance companies and brokers are going around the country convincing legislatures to pass resolutions to force retirees into Medicare Advantage. If the legislature adopts it, it should happen. Meanwhile, no one's really knowing to fight it, not fight it, because they don't even know what's happening until it's already happened. And so one of the things that they did, since their legislature went to pass this, is that they utilized Steve's suggestion at the time of creating a blue ribbon panel to have them dissect this thing. So they created legislation to create a blue ribbon panel, and it went on for about a year of all the stakeholders getting together and sitting down to talk about this and finding out all the pros and cons of it. And what they basically found out was Medicare Advantage is not Medicare and it's not an advantage, and that they shouldn't be forcing people into it. And now they still yet had a funding problem. And what did they decide to do? Fix the funding. So is that kind of a win? Well, it does set a kind of a precedent. And so we'll be looking at expanding upon that for next week. But it is important to know that still that does require legislation from the legislature to put the funding in place for retirees. Now, for us, let's say we had a blue ribbon panel. Blue ribbon panel said we should never be doing Medicare Advantage. Look at what Delaware did. Look at what all these other states did where this was stopped. Look at our own city. The judge in the Second Circuit is stopping everything. The First Department is stopping everything. So what you say is, well, what about funding? Well, the funding's there. Remember, 12-126 says the city will pay the full cost of health coverage for every employee, retiree, and their dependent. And that funding has been there. So the lights are still on, the roads are still, being paved, and garbage trucks are still picking up garbage, and all the happy things are happening, and lights haven't gone off. So it's just a whole, what did they say? Mayor said that we were on a fiscal cliff and the whole city was going to collapse. And then a month later, everything's okay. It's the budget dance, right?
Yep.
So Medicare needs to be overhauled to eliminate the 20% private insurance portion. Well, if they weren't shelling out hand over fist money for Medicare Advantage, they'd probably have the money to do that. Lenny, I will call back and see if I can find out whom I talked to. I was in such shock I forgot to ask her name. Oops, it's okay. Yep. So while that was a good win, Anne, thanks for the question. It was a good win. we will post up their final report on what they came up with. I was talking to them tonight, actually. Yep. Stocks are up, interest rates are going down. Early spring. I think that's all I got. What you got?
Just again, we knew about the donation hack that we had. So remember, nobody would privately ask you personally to give donations to them, except for us.
Especially on our own page.
Well, right, again, we asked for donations, but, nobody would, PM you to ask personally. We found out we were hacked, but, our mods and everybody else, they caught it quick. And
Yeah, it was a fake account.
it was a fake account. We disposed of them really quickly, and hopefully nobody got hurt by that. So,
Yeah.
but you, everybody who was looking out and reporting it, as they always say, if you see something, say something, we will take care of it. So, and again, any merchandise, and we do know there's still floaters out there trying to sell our merchandise. Again, anything is only going to be sold on Cafe Press. So that link, I believe, is still up and featured. So that would be the only place to get, any type of merchandise, and part of it goes to our fund. So other than
I didn't
that,
see that. There was another t-shirt thing.
no, there isn't, but I think the
Oh.
Cafe Press link is still up,
Yeah.
where they, where they can get stuff, but there wasn't another t-shirt sale, but I'm just putting it out there because I know they're still floating around here and there. We just want to make sure that people remember that, there's bad people out there,
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
as we found out from that person who hacked that other person's account. So
If we win in the appeal court, will that help our other lawsuits? Each of the arguments are a little bit different. So, yes and no. I think we were even debating at one point, even if, let's say, we were just playing like devil's advocate. If we lost the first case, would it really would it help us the third case? They're kind of independent, and I don't know. Keep your fingers crossed. We've been doing really good. Ellen says February 9th is the start of the year of the dragon, which is the best year in Chinese lunar year calendar. Hopefully this will be a good year for all of us retirees. Even Judith Palmer has a photo of a Chinese paper cut of the dragon. So hopefully we're in this to win us. That's great. I didn't know that.
and especially bad people at the MLC. Exactly.
Especially the bad people at the MLC. I know. Yep. Pat, she's still in Florida. So we're doing our homework. I'm gonna ask you guys to do your homework starting next week. Make sure you sign up for your social media and start looking up some of your council person's names so that you could retweet or repost some things that we'll be coming out with in the next few weeks, because we'll be asking you to do that. Get ready for the Tuesday letter, which will be the letter for the federal letter. I think that's about it. We'll post the new thermometer probably tomorrow if I don't get to it tonight, because I'm sitting here with a stack of paperwork I got to get through. And I think that's it. We do not have a court date yet. Lorraine, no court date yet. The city has to file its paperwork in each of our cases, one by I think February 6th and the other by February 27th. And then we'll probably be given a court date maybe somewhere between March and May. Isn't that what
Right.
Jake said today?
Yeah, I think, sometime
Between March and May?
March and the end of April, so May.
UFT only has virtual meetings without questions after recent disastrous meetings with, did I miss something?
Well, I know Murphy constantly, runs
Yells at
away.
people.
Right. Well, he yells at people, but he's been running away. The last I heard, he runs, like a rabid dog, because they're going to lynch him. They just, they run after him with torches and forks and stuff. And so it just gets unruly. And then, they've been doing it virtually lately.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, and we helped that group of retired teachers to try to put together a campaign to go against Tom Murphy. So I think that they're going to come up with an announcement really soon. So for all of you retired teachers that are eligible to vote, and if you're not, you better do whatever it is that you do have to do to vote in the UFT. Because there is a movement to remove Tom Murphy, which would put like 300 retiree delegates in control. And then the next movement will eventually be a movement to remove Michael Mulgrew. I can't wait for that one. Right?
Yep. So Lenny,
As long as you pay dues, you can vote. All right, so
Lenny, Tom Murphy is as they say, is a shill for the UFT.
he is the retired teacher chapter leader, I guess they call it, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the retired teacher chapter leader. Thank you, Claudia. The retired teacher here definitely will vote. My wife as well, by Mulgrew. Yes, so you've got two campaigns coming. You have this one to remove Tom, and that Lila says me too. So I know many of you didn't want to get rid of your dues. This is one reason why, because it does give you one benefit, to be able to vote to get them out. Let the power of your vote, right? So that's important. What about Garrido? What about Garrido? I don't think that's a public vote. I do believe that vote is it's for the union principals. I think it's their executive board that votes them in or out.
Telling you, karma.
Yeah, I know.
Karma.
Let's get a campaign to remind people to vote. Who said that? I would love to spearhead the movement to get rid of Mulgrew and Murphy. Eileen, I think you're gonna have that chance in a couple weeks. But I know the election preparation for Tom is soon. The Mulgrew, I think you'd have another year if I'm not wrong on that one. It's either a year or two. Does anyone know when Mulgrew's up? You guys have got to know. Yeah, yes, definitely, John. DC 37 retirees don't vote. I do believe it's the principles of the union that within the 52 unions of the DC 37, they elect the leader. Is there a name of the UFT campaign that's trying to unseat Murphy? There is, and I'm drawing a blank.
I think Mulgrew has 2 more years. Not Murphy, Mulgrew.
Thank you, David.
Thank you,
I'm gonna
David.
see if I check what that caucus was, because I got a text message on it today.
I'm
Give
sorry,
me one.
retiree advocate? Is that it? Unity?
Retiree Advocate is doing it, but I thought there was another one.
Oh, and Espolio's been MIA.
That's been for a long time. Yeah, I would just say retiree advocate because that's the one I could remember right now. Yeah, thank you, Claudia. Retiree advocate. Thank you, Michael. Yep, and Eileen, New Action is part of that. Yep, and they form these coalitions because unlike most unions, this union has multiple caucuses, and they're all uniting to come together to unseat Tom. And then I'm hoping that they will all come together to unseat Mulgrew and put a real labor leader in that position that will protect all the people and not pit people against each other, not pit caucuses against each other, not pit retirees against active workers. Yeah, the way it used to be. The way it used to be, like when they used to be here. My labor leader wall. Michael, I don't think it's a quarter vote. I think it's actually a little bit more than that. Votes, right. And I think that number went up too, because I think, well, I'll find it later, but I do believe it went up to 27,000, not 22. Does someone have those numbers? They do. Michael's right. They absolutely limit how many people can vote, but it's typically you get more ballots from retirees than I think you do on the elected, on the actives, or it's pretty darn close. Can the letter be put on our Facebook page since I don't do Twitter? Sorry, I repeated myself, but yeah, it could go anywhere. Absolutely. Yes, but doesn't all pit votes count? I don't understand that question, do you? Yes, but doesn't all pit votes count for retirees leadership? Michelle, I don't understand the question. Maybe you should sell a dartboard with 3 of their pictures in the bullseye.
We had something like that. We were told not to
Well,
do.
Joe made a pin the tail
Oh,
on the labor leader, but
right.
do you remember that?
Yes.
It was like a kid toy.
Yeah. Like you do at the birthday parties when you pin the tail on the donkey game.
Yeah, it was, yeah, pin the tail on the bad labor leader. I know. I was literally looking through old videos before we said some funny stuff. Are the actives finally getting concerned about what's going to happen to their? Some of them are awake, Ellen. I'm not sure about the others.
Yeah, some are, some aren't, most aren't. They just want money. That's it.
Retirees have a full vote in the retiree election. Vote is prorated in the general election. Got it. We need to keep telling actives how Mulgrew is screwing them too. Mulgrew was re-elected May of 22. His term began July 1, and it's a 3-year term. Thank you, Jim. So I'm sure they'll start soon. Don't all our votes count since we're voting for our retiree leadership? Yes, Michelle, there was another comment above that as an active yes in the general election for Michael Mulgrew, no. The GHI coverage for both actives and retirees can be strengthened. Bringing in Aetna is just letting hungry executives milk the good book of business and screw those who need care. It's ridiculous that part of MLC leadership is doing this.
Mhm.
You're right.
Oh, yeah. It's sickening.
I tried going to schools, but chapter leaders would not allow me to speak or even enter. Well, do they have to? Go make friends with the principal. Go to the principal's office. Let's see if the principal lets you in. On Facebook, the UFT has been having all these activities like wine and paint to show how wonderful and fun they are. So, Andrea, you should go and make little palm cards and hand them all out, or tuck them in people's bags, or stick them on their windshields.
Anybody can have fun when you drink and paint.
How can any retiree support Mulgrew and his cronies? I just don't get it.
Drink the Kool-Aid. You drink the Kool-Aid.
Michael goes, I tried that too. All right, then Michael, maybe make friends with the custodian and go in at night. And slip the flyers in their mailboxes or in their desks. But don't break in, no illegal stuff. Any news about PSC and the amicus? Are they corrected? No idea, Serena Mia. I've heard nothing. The Chicago Med Show Wednesday night was about an Advantage plan wouldn't pay for a man's surgery. Really?
Yeah. Listen, it's making a comeback again. I told you, I saw that on, I was telling Gerard in an email. I saw it on Law and Order a while back. They actually, Jack, Jack, because he always wins. He actually prosecuted an adjuster for denying medication and care for mental health issues for they let somebody go and he needed medication. He pushed somebody on the platform in front of a train and killed them. And
No
they
kidding.
found out that the insurance company, the adjuster, was denying medication and treatment because of a Medicare Advantage. They didn't say it, but it was because I was watching it and I'm going like, oh, I know what plan that is. And yeah, and it ended up that they found out that it was the adjuster. They prosecuted the adjuster for the insurance company. Yeah.
In
because
Chicago Med?
Oh, this was in Law and Order like over a year
Oh.
and a half ago. I watched it, but I'm talking, this is going back a while. So, they bring it up, but also Chicago Med the other day, same thing. And I've seen it also on Grey's Anatomy a while back. So it rears its head. And now on Chicago Med the other day. Yeah. So
Lock up Martha. We still have to do that Martha. We have to do the Martha.
no.
I still have my glasses that I cut out. Ellen says, how is TW100R doing? My heart hurts for them. I know we supported them, but I don't know where they are in their fight. And yes, I did send them donations. Ellen, thank you for doing that. That's really sweet. So stay tuned with TW100R. They had court the other day, and they have to tonight, I believe, they are amending their petition. And you will see a few things. If you go into their docket, they're amending their case, and they're also amending their defendants, their respondents, who they're suing. So at first it was a couple of people in, I think, MTA. It was like a labor person and one of their administrators, and then the president of the union. Now they're going to change that. They're also going to add MTA, which was already on the case. They're going to add New York City Transit, and they're also going to formally add their former union as a defendant in this case. So that will be happening tonight. There's a lot of documents that have to go into that case. The lawyers are working really late today to get all of that in by midnight. So you will see some movement in that docket between today and tomorrow, because we even have something to file in that case as well. So stay tuned on that. Then the state of New York, the MTA Transit, the union will have until, I think, like another week to file paperwork. I think till like, I wrote the dates down somewhere, but they're not handy, I think. And then I think their court date goes back like March 11th and 12th. So they're filing for an injunction, which wasn't originally filed. They had a TRO. The TRO was rescinded like in 12 hours. Now they're also filing for the injunction. So there's got a lot of action coming out of that case. So stay tuned. So keep your fingers crossed. Good things hopefully will happen. Haven't seen Martha in a while. That's because like open enrollment's over. She's probably hibernating, and she'll come out of her hole like in next, I don't know what, October. But I still have one pink tablecloth left. We could do this. You need to make glasses, and you need to get a pink tablecloth.
Well, I have my mother-in-law's pink robe.
Your mother is more moo-moo? So,
My
okay, so you just need glasses. Could you cut out a pair of glasses? I made mine, I put a glass down, literally like a glass, and then traced around it on a piece of paper, made a connection, and then just taped these earpieces. Like, this was like really grade school. You could do this. You'd probably do it better than me. See?
No, I will.
And the funny thing is I have a pair of glasses that almost look like this in real life. Remember, they were like my Edna Mode glasses.
All right, relax.
Do you remember those big ass
That's
round
what
ones?
I remember.
Yeah, they're upstairs. Yeah. All right, so cool, everybody. So that's what I got. Do you got anything else?
No, but as always, thank you moderators for keeping the page in line. Thank you everybody out there in Zoom land. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah. There you go.
Hey, and thank you to everybody out there for donating. And as Carol always say, we work for free. The lawyers do not. So bills will still be coming in. So please donate. And as David Schatz said out there, and he's my big fan. And I know everybody is, they're our fans. Donate like it depends on your life, because actually it does, because it is our health insurance.
It is your health care.
So please, donate. Hopefully we will win and suck it to them. So that's all I got.
All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself.
Stay safe,
Um,
stay warm, stay dry. Maybe that bright orb in the sky will come out, because I have not seen it in a week and a half.
That is good. And have a great weekend, and we will see you Monday. Ciao, everybody.
Oh, I got balloons.
You got balloons. How did you do
It's my Mac.
that? Good night.